Today we are going to design a 3-unit bridge in Exocad. Begin by starting a new project and filling out these camps. Then select the crowns we are going to do. For this case we're going to do a posterior lower bridge and it's going to be full contour, so I go and select Anatomic crown in zirconia. Okay. Usually I like to start by selecting the retainers and then we select the Pontic. As you can see, we have here two, and this represents the connectors. So if it's green, it means there is a connector, so they're going to be together connected, and if it's gray, it means it's a separate crown. So if they look like this, it means like we have 3 separate crowns. Like this, we have a 2-unit bridge plus a separate crown, and like this we have a 3-unit bridge. Okay, now scan mode, it's going to be 2 stone models in occlusion for this case, and save it. After saving, we can start design. Now the software is going to ask you to bring up the lower jaw. In this case, the lower jaw is separate in 2 different files, one with the preps and one with the rest of the model. So we select both of them and we press open. Then we bring up the antagonist, which is the upper jaw. Select open. Now make sure that the model is in the right perspective. It should look like this and not like this, okay? Like you see in this image. It's looking correctly, just go next. Now he asks you to select the margin of the 44, so go ahead and select the margin. And check if everything is looking nice. If not, you can come here and correct and draw and position them right, in the right position like this. Go next and do the same for the 46. Check if the margin is correct and then go next. At this stage you can modify these parameters, but we're gonna keep them as it is and we go next. Now usually the software brings up a standard library, which is the generic library, and for today's example we're gonna use this library to make the bridge. So try to position the teeth as best as you can. So basically you can use the left click in the mouse to position the crown. You can use the shift key to make them bigger or smaller, and the control key to incline them. So you can rotate like this. So at this stage it's important to spend a bit of time position them in the right position, and also looking at the other side to have an idea how the buccal corridor should look like. Now because this library, the crowns look a bit smaller for the space we have available, so we try to make them bigger to fill up the space. Like this. Something like this, and always bring up the antagonist to check if the occlusion is looking right. So if you want to bring the antagonist using the keyboard, you press the key A to show and hide the model, and also you can press Shift and A at the same time to make it opaque or transparent. You can do the same thing with the working model by pressing S. You can show and hide it, and then you can press Shift and S to make it transparent and opaque. Now, after you are happy with the positioning of the teeth, go next, and the software will adapt the crowns to the preps. Now, we use the free tool and use the smooth flatten tool to smooth a bit the margin, as it was a bit rough, and we do the same on this crown. Now I find this area a bit too concave, so I go add. We add a bit of volume here to make sure the profile looks correct, like this. We do the same on the other side. So usually I like to add a bit and then smooth it out to be more convex, like this. We do the same on the palatal side, on the lingual side in this case, like this. Now I'll do the same with the Pontic, just to feel it better, the space. Something like this. Okay. Now we can see that we have some strong contact points in the occlusion, so we should adjust them by going to Adapt tool, select Occlusion, and we select Cut Intersections, and the software will cut them for us. Now we can adjust it a bit, just so it doesn't look as rough. Smooth a bit there, like this, and now we should see the proximal contacts. So if you want to have the contacts in color, you can come here to this section and select Adjacents, and you're gonna see clearly where the contact is. And as you can tell, the contact is very small, the contact area. So usually what I like to do is come with the Add tool, make a bigger contact there, like this, and then with the Adapt tool, we go to Proximal. Usually, personally, I like to make it minus 0.01 cut intersections, and then we're gonna be sure that it's gonna be a contact once the bridge is milled. Now, if you look at the Pontic, you can tell that it's not yet adapted to the soft tissue. And for that, we go to Pontic, and we could select Adapt to the gingiva. It would make the Pontic with zero pressure on the soft tissue. So we go back. You can always select Undo if you don't like the last action, and we're gonna make some pressure on the soft tissue. I'm gonna go with 1 millimeter. Go Adapt, No, actually it's the other way around. We're gonna do minus 1 millimeter, so we are sure that there is gonna be some pressure. There you have it. So you can see the Pontic is doing some pressure on the tissue, but now it's looking concave, and the Pontic should never look concave. We need to make, for this case, probably a modified ridge lap. If the client asks you to do an ovate Pontic, you would do much more pressure, but I don't think this soft tissue could accommodate that. So I'll smooth it out a bit. Something like this. Make sure it's flat, at least. It's flat. And not concave. So we make sure it's doing a bit of pressure on the soft tissue. Something like this. Okay, probably doesn't need to be as long in there. So there you have it. Some pressure on the soft tissue. And now, once you are happy with the design, just remove a bit here. So once you are happy with the design, we go next. And now we are in the connectors stage. So to keep it simple, you could come free and shape the connectors yourself by dragging all these points. But I think it's easier just to come to this stage. You can make them bigger or smaller with this bar, and you apply the cross section. Yes. Usually I like just to bring them to the lingual side, because usually if you have a zirconia bridge, you need to make sure that you have some nice and thick contacts to make sure that the bridge doesn't break. And usually I like to make them thicker on the palate, so we have some nice embrasures on the buccal side of the bridge. So place them like this more or less, and then we're gonna shape them better with the free-from restorations. Go next. So you are able to design it again, and you smooth it out. Something like this. You can always modify something if you don't like, so probably they are sticking out a bit too much on the belly, so we push them in a bit like this. You can always use tooth parts and bring it inside or outside. Okay. Now, if you are happy with the design, you go next, you say yes, and we are done. Go next. And there you have it, a 3-unit bridge in Exocad.